I did some research on the blacks, as Judge Janine so eloquently would say. The solution to Hakeem's problem, this gay Obama, is baby making. Blacks, for 150 years, have only represented 10 to 15% of the American population. Okay? That's not that much. So if they want to have more seats, they got to get in between the sheets. The Spanish, they're coming north, they're having tons of kids, and at this point, they have almost the same amount of House seats as blacks. The Hispanic caucus is almost as big as the black caucus.
What a piece of human trash. Jesse Waters is the definition of a white supremacist, just white trailer park trash. That's what he is. He doesn't even care about the open racism and white supremacy. He doesn't care at all. This is the same guy that voted for a white man that rapes women and defends child molesters. And he's joking. That's the part that's disturbing. Did you notice Greg Gunfield over there, that other white supremacist? This is so funny because that's what his stupid six-teeth base wants. His little Make America White Again. They think it's funny. They want to be entertained. That's why they elected a clown. The grand wizard of all comedians. They love the circus. They want to be entertained. They want Jerry Springer. He's such an entertainer. He's so funny. Did you hear what he said? They're eating the dogs and cats. Oh, he's just kidding. Did you hear that he said windmills cause cancer? He's so funny. He told me to inject bleach. Oh, that guy, he's such a kick. That's why I love him, because he speaks his mind. You know, it's I keep seeing so many people say, vote for the midterms, vote for the midterms. How is voting for the Democrats going to stop this? When the fairness doctrine was overturned, I think it was the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, that was really bad for this country. And I would argue that's probably where a lot of this went downhill. White supremacy is a massive part of it, right? That and a black man in the White House, because it triggered a lot of racist white trash, just Klan members that wear red hats now, because they just couldn't stomach a black man in the White House, because that was no longer traditional family values, white America. And it just feels like America doesn't want to admit why we're here. This is it. Like, they have gutted the civil rights movement, gutted it, which black people couldn't even vote till the 1960s. And this country was founded in what? 1776. I mean, black people shed their blood over this. And this jackass is like, oh, hey, black people, just go have sex and make black babies. Because, see, that's actually what white people are afraid of. They don't want that, which is exactly why Donald Trump ran on deporting brown people. That was his whole campaign. And when I watch content creators and the news go, well, he ran on the economy. No, he didn't. He ran on this. He ran on white supremacy. He ran on take the brown people out of this country so you increase the white population. Because that's what they see this as. They view immigration and Muslims and Somalians and Asians and Hispanics and Latinos, that it's diluting the white pool. That's what it is. It's like they look at this as, you ever go to the store and you buy like this frozen orange concentrate? That's kind of what America's founded on 1776. All 100% white. And you put it in a container, right? And you add water. Oh, you're like, oh, that's okay. That's pretty good. And you add more water and more water and more water. What's happened? Oh, now it doesn't taste like orange juice anymore. That's exactly what's happening to America. Is they're petrified that whiteness is going away. Last week, Dr. Oz, that other white nationalist, we need more babies. The birth rates are supposed to be at 2.1, it's at 1.5. He wants white babies. That's what they want. And for everyone to say, I just want people here legally, so do I. But what you don't get to do is demonize people whose documentation, which is a civil offense, not a felony, by the way, who've been here for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, never been found guilty of any kind of felonies. They pay their taxes, they've raised their kids here, had businesses, went to school, good members of society. And then all of a sudden, a rapist tells you, hey, your shitty life, it's the brown people. Yeah. The guy that's been here for 40 years, yeah, the brown person, he's the problem with America. He's the reason your life sucks. But then you went to the voting booth and checked a box for a white man that is a adjudicated rapist, who has sexually assaulted 24 women, who has dinner with white supremacists, who still hasn't acknowledged he lost the last election, caused January 6th, 5 officers died, and on and on and on. And he said, that's my guy because he told me that the brown people are bad and that the brown people are eating the dogs and cats and that the brown people are poisoning the blood of America, because that's what this is about. That's exactly what Fox News is. It is constant fear-mongering to white people because that's what they do. That's why they love to be entertained. And when you look at most of the people on the right, many of them aren't stupid, but they understand that their base is stupid and they need to pull out their white victim card. So even though 3 people own 53% of the wealth, just think about that. 350 million people live in this country, something like that, right? And 3 people own half of the wealth. Instead of addressing the fact that it's the rich people screwing us, the oligarchies, the corporations, what they do is they get into culture wars because they don't want to give tax breaks to rich people. And every election, they find a new boogeyman. And every time they go on a podcast, what do? Oh, let's not talk about gun violence, even though 40,000 people die every year, or the 14 million kids who go to school hungry. No. I want clicks and views. I'm going to entertain people just like that Klan leader, Jesse Waters right there. Ooh, hey, libtard, can you tell me what a man and a woman is? Ooh, I want a debate. Ooh, I got into a culture war. Hey, do you want men going into women's bathrooms? Ooh, I don't want Donald Trump going into my daughter's dressing room. That's what I don't want. I'm more afraid of him than I am a transgender athlete. And by the way, there's 10 out of all of college sports. But the number one cause of death of children is what? That's right, gun violence. But you don't want to have that. You know why? Because the white man does it and he gets a free pass. Look at Lincoln Riley. It's horrible what happened to her. But you know what? Over 40,000 Americans died that year from gun violence. And the vast majority were white people. And what do Republicans do? How could I use this to anger white people? Ooh, let's pull out the race card again. Oh, yeah. Hey, that was an undocumented immigrant. Let's put them on mailers. Let's scare the white people. You don't vote for a convicted felon and say you want people here legally. You lost the argument. It's about white supremacy. You will find everything wrong. And you did the same thing with the Summer of Love. You know, the protests that happened after George Floyd, 93% of those were peaceful. And you know what people like Fox News does? And the people on the right? Let's focus on the really, really bad stuff. The very, very, very 7%. Because it gets clicks and views and it makes white people angry. Now they want law and order after they voted for a man who is an adjudicated rapist. All of a sudden they care about law and order after the rapist pardons 1,600 felons to be police officers. Law and order. Yeah, law and order my ass. He's the white man. That's all that matters, is that he's white. Can you imagine if a black man did half the stuff that Trump did? 10%, 1%? They would be trying to overthrow the government right now, white people would. They would lose their minds. And the whole thing with George Floyd is that, you know, if that white cop didn't murder him and 3 cops didn't stand by and watch it happen, there wouldn't have been even a protest. And that's the problem. Because then they can't be the victim. They don't care about George Floyd. They don't care that he was murdered by a cop. Hell, even Ben Shapiro and his little smart ass runs around going, oh, I don't know if it really happened. He was found guilty in a court of law, period, end of story. Everything else is just rage bait, clickbait. You create doubt, and then you fearmonger to your 16th white trash base that inbreeds and goes to Klan rallies, and you piss them off, and you get into culture wars, and you somehow find a way to blame the boogeyman. Ooh, look, hey, the Somalians are eating the dogs and cats. Ooh, look, there's a Somalian church in Minnesota, like this Nick Shirley does, this other white nationalist, right? But he voted for the man that sexually assaults women and defends child molesters, who's trying to raise $1 billion of your tax dollars to go to a ballroom, who spends half of his time on his fat ass golfing and spending all your money, and spends $20 million of your tax dollars. But somehow that's not waste, fraud, and abuse, even though Donald Trump's wealth has gone from $1 billion up to $5 billion in the first year and a half. But what do? Let's go find a brown person and look at the worst of the worst of the worst. Let's go into a blue city and find the worst things because I need clicks and views, and that's what it is. But the reality is, even as human nature, we do that, right? We watch the fires in LA, but we don't give a shit about the recovery. How about Lahaina? How many of us have even done research on it? I have. Most of us don't. Because we love the train wreck. We love the accident. We love the hurricanes, the tornadoes. Oh, that's horrible. Thoughts and prayers. Well, let's go back to work. What's the next one? How's the recovery going? Oh, I don't know. I don't care about that. I'm on to the next thing. That's what people on the right do. It is the constant victim mentality. And they use white supremacy in order to do it. That's what Donald Trump ran on, white supremacy. Blame the non-white people for everything. They're taking your jobs. And they did the same thing with the racist podcaster who was the victim of a school shooting. The roaming blacks. Is the pilot black? Maybe he's not qualified. Ooh, Harris says Black Hillary. Ooh, the great white replacement theory. Oh, what do you see from white people? Oh my God, he brought people. No, he wasn't. He was a racist. He didn't debate people. He picked stupid, uneducated white people and he yelled at them. And everybody cheered and he silenced them. That's not a debate. That's clickbait. It's rage bait. It's fear-mongering to his uneducated white base. That's what this is on Fox News. And they do it every day, day after day after day. And Gunfield, just 2 or 3 months ago, did the same thing. I posted a video a couple months ago. There was a teacher that molested and had sex with a 17-year-old boy. It's child molestation. You know what Gunfield said? Woo, I would wear that with a badge of honor. He is literally joking on live TV and thinks it's funny that a teacher had sex with a minor. It's disgusting. But that's what his stupid base loves, because it's funny. Because it's a man. He's a real man. That's what Fox News is. It's a circus. It's propaganda, just like fascist Italy. That's how it works. And you got to remember, guys, when they watch this crap day after day after day, they are completely brainwashed with propaganda. They don't see anything that's actual news. They don't even hear about the fraud that Trump's committing. They don't even know, some of these people don't even know that he owes E. Jean Carroll $80 million. They don't even know he's a convicted felon because they don't report actual news. They just don't. But they go back to race baiting all the time. And from time to time, Fox News will find somebody that doesn't look like me, and they'll put them up there so white people can say, oh, I'm not racist. I listen to a black person on Fox News. That's what they do. It's race baiting. So Jesse Waters, why don't you just wear your hood? Seriously, don't be ashamed. Go down to Trump Cleaners with your Trump phone, have it cleaned, press it, and just wear it on your show. Why are you being afraid of what you are? You're a white supremacist. You're a disgusting pig. And white people need to say what I'm saying, and it needs to stop. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable, people. That's the only way this is going to change. Have a white day.